ladies and gentlemen, another day of the off season. We consider this the off season here racing Outlaw Karts at Red Bluff, but we're still kind of getting after it. Wanted to welcome you back to today's show. This is the second day of our weekend here in Red Bluff, California at the Red Bluff Outlaws, and tonight's show is known as the Gary Jacobs Memorial. One of Red Bluff Outlaws' crown jewel events, pays a little bit of extra money. It might even be a couple more laps, I'm not sure, but this is one of those races where they hand out a special trophy, and you know, guys of course always want to put their name on it. It's been a fun weekend so far. We picked up the victory yesterday in the 18T, and if we can do it again tonight, we'll get the chance to get the broom out and consider it a sweep. So of course that's always the goal, but with you know, a race like this and just Red Bluff in general, such close quarter racing, lots of action, you always just want to kind of keep yourself in the mix. If you can get out front, but always just be there and give yourself that opportunity. So that's what we're going to do again today, and hope things go our way and the 18T can once again cross the checkered flag first. First thing on track will be qualifying here in just a couple of minutes. Got to lay down a good time to kind of set the tone for the night and really see where your race car's at and how we can make adjustments, and of course always try to get faster. Our night is underway. I'm here with my buddy Brody. Brody, what do you think of the racetrack right now?
There's gonna be a curb tonight.
Think there's gonna be a curb? All right, well that's a good prediction. We just qualified the 18T, laid down a good lap, ended up third quick out of 34 opens. Overall, my 3 laps really weren't that great. My second one obviously laid down a good time. This is actually, Brody was just in the video actually a minute ago. He was talking about the curb that was forming up here. My laps really weren't that great. My second one was my fastest. My first one I didn't get up to full speed, and then my last time by I half spun because I was pushing it a little harder just to see if I could get, you know, that much more time. Anyway, with the invert now, we are going to be rolling off second row outside for our heat race, and we have to finish in the top 2. That's the cutthroatness of Red Bluff Outlaws. You qualify good, and then because of points and how they do it, you got to start behind and then you got to move back forward. So if we can have a good heat race here and make something happen, use the bottom, use the top, throw some sliders, be in the right spot, we'll have a chance to sneak into the redraw and the dash, but we have to finish in the top 2 to do that. So Lady Luck has been on our side this weekend in our heat races at Red Bluff. Was originally scheduled to start 4th there, and then the front row jumped, the car on the outside, and they have a no tolerance policy, so they sent him back and then moved me to the front. And then I was able to take advantage of that and lead all 8 laps, kind of, you know, get a good start, use the high side, which is a little bit faster right now, but both lanes are even. As I was leading, the car in second kept showing me a nose, and I was tempted to go down there, but sometimes you can almost screw yourself up more trying to take someone else's lane away than just staying in yours and doing your thing and trying to transfer. And that was super key. We're now going to move into the redraw, which means we are going to be in the dash and start somewhere in the first 3 rows of tonight's main event. It's just going to come down to a pill draw to see where we're going to roll off and then what we can make out of it in the 6 laps before we have the 30 later. started 4th there in the dash, pulled a 4 in the redraw, which is not a bad spot to be in. You know, you can kind of see what the guys up front do, see how the start shakes out, and ideally, I would have liked to pass 2 cars and then started front row outside or won the dash if everything went perfectly. You're always wanting to move forward. That did not necessarily go to plan. I got to 3rd, got in a little incident, a couple of us crashed, so I restarted 4th and then got back to 3rd on the last lap when something went down here in 3 and 4. I couldn't really see out the right side of my car, but ran the bottom and crossed the line in 3rd. So now we're gonna be starting 2nd row inside for the A. Not a bad position. You know, I think it really just depends on how things get going. If we can get some green flag laps and everyone can kind of just spread out and run their race, our car is gonna shine. That's where I feel like we're best. That's where factory QRC gets it dialed in. And even on the short runs, we're not bad, but that's just where there's more opportunity for unknown to occur. So we've had a great night. We put ourselves up front, and now it's just time to execute and keep our head screwed on straight no matter what. There's a lot that can happen in a short period of time, and for us, if we just kind of stay patient and put ourselves up front, that's our best opportunity at winning tonight's Gary Jacobs Memorial. So that's our goal. Here in a little bit, they're going to start all the A-main events. Racetrack's going to continue to change. Still has some grip, but it is getting slick, and I think both lines are going to start slowing down soon. early on. Stay away from those guys. All right, so just about to change. I don't really got a lot of good things to say. Finished third, started third. On paper, that would look like a great race. My race was anything but great. But we're gonna load up. We want to get heading home. Just a frustrating deal, especially since my car was awesome. I did make some mistakes. I'm not saying everything just went wrong on the other end, but just the game and the system and how things play out, and you know, like at one point I got to the lead, and it just makes you shake your head. So we're about to pull the motorhome out, and the pit area is clearing as we just finished up a long weekend. I don't even really know where to start for that A-main event. I rolled off from the second row, and I made good decisions early, just kind of ran the bottom. The leaders, something happened and took out basically first, second, and third, and I was running fourth, just minding my business. They were all running the top, I was running the bottom, so I got the lead within a lap or two. Then we had a couple of restarts, and this is my first thing, like, the restart zone at Red Bluff, it's not good. It does not give any advantage to the leader. You're a sit and duck. The whole front row almost is a sit and duck in a way. It just like doesn't set up like a good race into turn 1 and 2. So like I probably should have done some things differently. Like I fired off and I went to block, and I should have maybe, it's such a catch-22. Do you leave the door open, or do you try to block the lane sometimes depending on how the car inside you fires off? Well, I fired off, I get plugged in the fence, fell back to 6th, then worked my way all the way back up to 2nd, and then that's where I did make a mistake. I slid for the lead, and I don't know if I caught the crease wrong, but I just started spinning back down the hill and made contact and got my front end ran over, which, like I said, that was my fault. I need to watch the replay, but I was leading, hit the fence, drove back from 6th to the lead, technically fighting for the lead, and then went to the back, went in the hot pit. They kind of adjusted my front end, got me where I was okay. My car was messed up, and then missed some crashes, passed some cars, put myself in the right spot, and got all the way back to a podium run. Had the fastest lap of the race. My car was great. That's where I wish I could have maybe just tried to stay away from everyone up front. Everyone was all going crazy, and I had a good car. I just, you know, when you're running around everyone, you try to defend sometimes and you try to play offense, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But for us, we just got caught up in the chaos, and then, you know, survived it back through for a good finish. But still frustrating when, like, all the changes we made all weekend, we finally got our car where I feel like we were more lights out than ever. Like I said, the frustrating part is, you know, the restarts and like how that whole deal, it's not good. Especially as the leader, I should have an advantage, just like whoever else is leading and I'm second, third, or fourth, they should have an advantage over me, and it's not like that. And then it sets it up to where you can just get a haymaker into one, a good clean slider, or just whatever. It's basically free for all. And therefore, then we have more yellows. We don't get the green flag laps we need. If like we had a 30-lap green flag race there, the track was awesome. It would have been good racing, and we would have saw who had a good car, who could move through the field. And unfortunately, like we don't have that. So I don't ever mean to come on here and just whine and complain, but it really does suck what's going on right now. Especially, like I said, like I started in the second row. I felt good. Like if we just get going, and even if that whole thing wouldn't have happened early, and I would have had to come from fourth under green flag conditions, I think we would have been good enough to do so. And also part of it too is, like, in a way you have to contribute to that. I threw a slider on a restart because otherwise you're a sit and duck with how the system is. You can't just go and run a couple laps and get rolling. Everyone is basically hero or zero with how it is. So anyway, thanks for watching. P3 tonight. Frustrating third, but like I always say, I guess if you're frustrated with a good finish, then, you know, that kind of shows where the speed's at and where you want to be and where our team is. So factory QRC never gives up. They do a lot of good for me, and Jimmy Elledge is, you know, never quits. So thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one. Deuces.